Entrepreneurs Living the Dream 2025 is back. Visibility creates opportunity, and the more you're seen, the more doors open for your success. Visibility is the bridge between your expertise and your audience trust.
That's true. So how many of you want to be known? Yeah. So you have to do some stuff to be known. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to tell you about some of my authors, and you can become one too. Many of you already are authors. I started because my mother told me I couldn't date the boy I was dating. I married him. And that's what you do. And we moved to New York City, which is where I'm originally from, and he went back to school. I was 19 years old. And he went back to school. He was 19 years old. And I went to work. And I want people who are talking in the audience to stop.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Especially if you're a speaker. And I didn't know anything. I had no clue about anything. I got a job as a teletype operator. I got a job as a Gal Friday. I got a job as a file clerk. And then I got fired. I thought, you know what? I don't really want to work for anybody. My mother was the nation's foremost fitness authority. She started the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, and I could teach fitness, so that's what I did. I had a school, or I had a fitness studio. Please stop talking. I had a fitness studio, and I figured people got in shape just climbing up my 5-flight walk-up in Greenwich Village. Then I moved to the Upper West Side and taught fitness. I think I taught 2 classes a week. It was very interesting trying to support a family on 2 classes a week. I had a baby, of course. I piled it all on, right? And then a woman called me one day, said, "Do you teach 2-year-olds?" And I said, "No, but I have a 2-year-old." Would you teach 2-year-olds? Now, how many, when somebody offers you an opportunity that you have no idea how to do, would say yes? Good. Then figure it out. So I said yes, and a few days later, I had 6 2-year-olds in my living room. And I called my mother the night before, and I said, "What do I do?" And she said, "Keep them busy." That's all she said, and I built a multi-million-dollar business keeping me busy. We moved from my apartment when there got to be 6 kids to a studio on the Upper West Side. And then one day, I had 2 classes then. 2-year-olds, 10 2-year-olds, and a mother and child class. And then one of the mothers said to me, "May I bring a friend and watch your program?" Sure. The next week, she brought a reporter from the New York Times. I did not know what that meant. I hadn't washed my hair. I had a hole in my tights. I didn't know what it meant. She brought a photographer. 3 weeks later, a 3/4-page article came out in the New York Times with 3 photographs, and I went from 10 students on Thursday to 75 students on Monday. Wow. So, media is king. You want media. Talk to that man back there, Mr. Mark. You want media. From there, I grew my company. I had to get a studio from not 1 hour a week, but the whole week. Then I moved the studio to a bigger program. I started a gymnastics program. I had a West Side studio, East Side studio, and a summer camp in East Hampton, Long Island. In 1971, at a cocktail party in East Hampton, Long Island, and this is important, I met an editor from William Morrow Publishing. I didn't know who William Morrow, I didn't know anybody at William Morrow, but they knew me. And I told her an idea. I wanted to write a book about children's fitness, toddlers. She said, do you have an outline? I said, of course. May I pick it up on Monday when I go back to Manhattan? Sure. I wrote it over the weekend. She picked it up on Monday. She called me on Thursday. We want your book. We're going to pay you $3,000. I said, great. Let me talk to my husband and call you back. I called the William Morris agency. And I said, I'm Suzy Prudden. I just sold a book to William Morrow. I need an agent. They signed an agent to me who negotiated the deal. The problem was I couldn't write, but my husband could. So I had the ideas, he wrote the books, took the photographs, and we had our first book come out in 1972. I didn't know anybody at CBS, but they knew me. I had a children's studio in Manhattan, I had a children's book. They asked me if I wanted to bring some of my kids down to the studio, to CBS, and do a 7-minute segment on a children's show. I said, sure. I had that job for 1.5 years. It just kept going. I didn't know anybody at Newsweek. They knew me. They called me to talk to me about fitness, wanted to do an article. 3 sentences appeared in Newsweek, 3. And someone from NBC, I didn't know anybody at NBC, called me, interviewed me, wanted to do a pilot for Dr. Frank Field. I said, yes. We did it at my studio in New York. They didn't buy it, but someone at NBC saw it, called me, would you like to come down to do a segment on our show, The Prime of Your Life? Sure. I had that job for 1.5 years. My producer at NBC was a wonderful man. I used to call him every week with a show idea. Of course, the show was about me. He said, thanks, Suzy. Please, I get so distracted when people talk in the room. Please stop. If you want to talk to each other, go out. Thank you. I have to get back on track. Right. Thank you, Trish. And so one day Larry called me. And I really would you please go over there and tell them to leave the room? Thank you. Thank you. So Larry called me and said, I have a show idea for you. Would you like, I said, just tell me time and date. And I had my own talk show on NBC. It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. From that show, I became the fitness reporter for the Today Show. So who do you know that knows someone, or who do you not know that knows you? Because there are a lot of people that know who you are that you have no idea who they are. Writing a book is one of the best ways to be known. I mean, 158 authors are now bestsellers because of Itty Bitty Publishing. And let me tell you what happens when you write an itty bitty book. This book was written by Anthony Camacho, who's a sales coach, and he used this book to market himself, grew his company from $100,000 a year to $750,000 a year. That's possible with a book. But a book doesn't have legs. You have the legs. You need to get on podcasts. You need to get on television. They want you. Do you know a radio show, a news radio show, has to fill 2 hours every day with 3 to 4 minute segments. 2 hours every day. Each one of you is a news story. Simply, all you need to do is call them up and find a way to show them that their audience needs your information. Every radio show needs you, every television show needs you, every podcast needs you. He did everything. And he grew his company from $100,000 to $750,000 a year. Most people think that you have to sell books one at a time. And the interesting thing about selling books one at a time is that you're not making very much money. But you can sell books 1,000 at a time. This woman wrote a book on staying healthy. Not getting well, staying healthy. She contacted insurance companies. The first order, now they need this book to keep their clients healthy so they don't need insurance money paid. So what she did, she went to the insurance companies, offered them this book, this opportunity to give it to their clients. Her first order was 100,000 books. Do the math. Yeah. So it's not about onesie-twosies. It's about 100, 500, 1,000, 5,000. I just got a note from a woman. We have a book on elder care, helping people who help the elder. Because they work really hard to do that. You give up your whole life sometimes. She just made an order of a lot of books to give to her group and their friends who are taking care of older people. She wrote me a letter. How do I do that? I called her up. I said, just pay me X number of dollars and your books are on their way. Then, this was so cool. The woman who wrote the book, she said, is there any chance she could come to Utah and talk? So I called her, would you like to go to Utah? She goes, I go every August. And so in August, she's going to be speaking. Then this happened, and it really threw me for a loop. This gentleman wrote a book on staging your home. You need pictures. There are no pictures in itty bitty books. Just numbered sentences and paragraphs and bullet points. An insurance company, a real estate company called me because what he's done on page 2 of every book, he sends them to his website where he has all the pictures. So now insurance companies are calling me, order the books by 100 and 200 to give to their clients. It came out of nowhere. You just don't know. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And this woman wrote a book on marijuana before it was legal. I mean, it was legal in her state, but not in California and not in a lot of the country. This book came out in 2015, and one of the first books that we did, and I met her at a place called CEO Space, which is a networking group that used to meet in Las Vegas 5 times a year. She wanted to write a book. I said, great. I called her when we got home. I said, who are you? She's, well, I'm a full-blooded gypsy. I'm a disabled vet. I'm a spiritual teacher, and I'm a marijuana dispenser. I said, okay, what do you want to write about? She said, I don't know. She said, spiritual coaching? I said, what's the low-hanging fruit? She goes, I don't know. I said, it's pot. Write a book about pot. Write Your Amazing Marijuana Manual, 15 Ways to Use Cannabis for Healing. She said, how'd you do that? I said, that's what I do. And then you're going to write the book, 15 Ways to Talk to Your Kids About Cannabis. And then you're going to write the book, 15 Ways to Use Edibles Correctly. And now how many of you know how to use edibles incorrectly? Yeah, but there's a if I have a friend whose boyfriend was a grower, and she knew nothing about pot, and she went to a hemp fest with him, and she was tasting, and tasting, and tasting, not realizing that a taste was a dose. After 3 days, she's going, when is this going to end? He said, just ride it. So I said to her, then you're going to create a certification program teaching people how to teach people how to use cannabis. And she did. She called me one day crying. I said, Kat, what's wrong? She said, nothing, these are happy tears. I'm at a hemp fest and I just sold 60 people into my certification program and made $92,000. A book can do anything. First you have to write it. Then you have to use your legs to publicize it. And in publicizing it, it publicizes you. So think about what you want to do, what your expertise is. It's not about writing a 300-page book. And I know you've all got great stories. But if you really want to position yourself as an expert in your field, all you need is a little book that teaches people what you need to teach them. Get yourself on television. Get yourself on radio. Do the podcasts. Do the legwork. You all know somebody who knows somebody. By doing that, they'll all know you. So I have a gift for you, a 4-hour workshop on writing a book. How many of you would like it? It's on Zoom. So come over to see me, fill out a card. You'll not only get the 4-hour workshop. In my other life, I was a hypnotherapist. So I have 4 hypnosis processes on having you make more money, 4 hypnosis processes on creating a bestseller. If you don't like hypnosis, just don't close your eyes and listen to it. Don't drive with it. I've done that. It's not a good idea. I didn't realize that I was listening to I thought it because I'm a hypnotherapist, I could do that. An hour later, an hour past my exit, I realized that, oops, shouldn't have done that. But please come over and see me and talk to me about the book idea you have. And as I said, you all have great stories, but the trick to getting known is not your story yet. That's your second book. Your first book is your expertise. Who are you in the world? What do you want to be known for? And as you get known for what you do, people know who you are. They will call you. And that's what you want. Thank you very much.